This video shows an IATF auditor undertaking a part of an IATF 16949 remote audit at a certified client. Watch this video and see if this aspect of the remote audit is undertaken effectively.
Good morning. As you're probably aware that IATF rules now say that I have to spend a third of the audit time in production. Now, to be honest, as this audit is remote, that is going to be tricky, but we're going to give it a go. First of all, is it possible that you could get me a copy of a process FMEA and control plan?
I can get you a copy, yes.
Great. I'll let you decide which part number we look at, but can you just make sure it's an automotive part, please?
Yep, no problem.
Have you got any suggestions on part numbers that we can?
We could look at 1598s.
Yeah, that sounds good. Is that one that's a regular runner?
It's a regular runner, yes.
Okay, brilliant. And just out of interest, do you know what machine that's running on?
Well, usually it runs in machine 3, but machine 3 is actually broken. It's on a breakdown. So we're running that in machine 4 for today's run.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess these things happen. Would it be possible that someone could take the camera onto the shop floor for me and head towards machine number 3?
Yep, I can do that.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be great if you could just kind of walk through production and then sort of end up at machine number 4, we said, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that for us.
That's great. Thank you. So we're now in production, is that right?
That's right, yeah. I'm at the machine where we are manufacturing 1598, machine 4.
Yeah, so can you just give a sort of a rough idea of what happens at this machine?
Yeah, so if I just go down to the...
Yeah.
So the material is prepared into the dryer.
Yeah.
And the setter will set the job up so it heats up to the temperature required. And then the granules will turn into plastic and it will go into the tool.
Yeah.
And then with all the settings that the setter's inputted, it will then produce a part, as you can see on that one. And the robot will take it and drop it onto the conveyor belt.
Okay. And they're the 890s at the moment that are coming off this machine, aren't they, I think?
Say that again, sorry?
Which part's coming off at the moment? Is it the 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 O's that are being produced at the moment?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, brilliant. Just out of interest, Carl, is it possible that you could ask the operator to show me the control plan?
Unfortunately not. We don't tend to have the operators using the control plans. Everything is cascaded, all the information from that document is cascaded into the work instruction. So we tend to not train that out to the operators.
All right, so you don't actually have the full control plan on the shop floor?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, no, I think we talked about this last time and it's really unacceptable. You know, the control plan has to be on the shop floor and understood by the operator. I'm afraid this time I'm going to have to raise that as a major non-conformity.
Okay. I'll have to speak to my quality manager about that.
In this remote audit, the audit actually started well, with the auditor confirming that a minimum of 1/3 of the available audit time shall be spent in manufacturing. This is an IATF 16949 rule requirement. This should equally apply to any remote audit. The auditor also requested a copy of the PFMEA, and the control plan. From the way that the questions was asked, it was evident that the auditor had done little preparation and asked the client representative to select the sample to audit. This is not acceptable. The auditor should select the samples. Once a part number was selected, the client representative stated that the part was running on machine 4 rather than the normal machine 3. This gave the auditor the opportunity to follow a trail about which machines the part was approved to run in, considering the customer part approval requirements. He made no indication he would follow this audit trail. It was good that the auditor then asked to see the manufacturing process. But again, the questions asked were very general, with no focus on internal or external performance data. All of the questions asked of the guide, rather than trying to interface with the person that was actually checking the parts. Finally, the auditor indicated that the control plan should be on the shop floor. This is definitely not a mandatory IATF 16949 requirement. To undertake an effective remote audit, it is essential that the auditor does good audit preparation, including a review of external and internal performance data. In this video, the auditor was not focused and didn't ask to select the sample. He allowed the client to select the sample. Just as for an on-site audit, in a remote audit, the auditor should follow audit trails based around the information collected in the audit preparation to be able to draw accurate and factual conclusions. In this video, the auditor did not indicate that he would follow audit trails on the change of machine and whether the change of machine continued to meet the customer part approval requirements. While it was good the auditor asked to see the machine in question, the questions asked during this part of the audit were not focused, and there was no interface with the person that was actually checking the parts. Finally, the auditor made an incorrect statement by mandating that the control plan had to be on the shop floor and understood by the operator. The important thing is that the control plan is effectively communicated to the shop floor, but this could be through standardized work or work instructions.